Our reporter Mnisi is out in Braamfontein. He's been watching part of the mayhem that has erupted there. Linda, a very good evening to you. Firstly, the big question on many people's minds will be whether or not there has been a change in approach from the police when it comes to this protest.
Well, Cathy, at the moment it seems calm has been restored. About an hour or so ago, what we saw were police really approaching those students that have been protesting for much of the protest, really, following the death of that man that we saw in Braamfontein early this morning. What we were able to see is, Cathy, were police giving the protesting students space to protest, even as they walk down Jan Smuts Avenue, turning to Empire Road. There wasn't much police present, but in fact, what we're seeing with JMPD officials, making sure that traffic is not disturbed, but students, of course, now blocking traffic, saying that they did not want any particular cars to pass. But what you're seeing behind me are all those cars now passing by. Moments ago, the scene was definitely, Cathy, not like this. A number of students had gathered here. We saw them set up, tires, also bringing on to the road rocks, which is perhaps in the South African context indicative of people that are dissatisfied with the status quo. Now, theirs is the issue of financial exclusion in institutions of higher learning, particularly at Wits University.
Let's talk about the fact that in the midst of this protest today, a man has lost his life. That means something to his family. It means something to those who have loved him the most. What has been the response of the authorities to his death today? Speak to me about what the police have said, what management at Wits University has said as well.
We've seen, Cathy, a statement from Wits University saying that they do note the death of that man and condemn violence. In fact, in their statement, they point out that the man, they make mention of a civilian who was caught in a clash. Now, there's been various reactions in terms of that, whether there was indeed a clash or not. Many people saying, well, there wasn't a clash. In fact, what police were doing were firing rubber bullets, or were firing at students who were protesting peacefully. They've redirected all the questions and the comments to the SAPS, who are handling the situation. We know that they indicated earlier on, the SAPS, that is, Cathy, that they would not be coming to the scene to engage students. So the only form of talking that we saw today was the firing of rubber bullets, particularly here on Empire Road, as well as the firing stun grenades at those protesting students. Now, we do know that a number of them have been arrested, but also this has triggered, reactions from many corners of society. People basically condemning this act by police, the response by police in the way that they, have been doing or conducting public order policing. It seems even when that person lost their lives, there was really no intention to retreat. We've seen them come back to the street to disperse those students.
Linda, Wits University has been here before. In fact, there are many lessons that would be drawn out of the Fees Must Fall protest. At this point, do we get a sense that they are applying some of those lessons, that the approach that they're taking in talking with the students, in negotiating where necessary, is going to be enough to avoid these protests escalating any further?
Well, Cathy, the students have already indicated that they'd like to meet with the Vice-Chancellor of Wits University. Now, you'll remember during the Fees Must Fall, back in 2015, 2016, the Vice-Chancellor was Adam Habib. Now, they said that they want to meet the new Vice-Chancellor at the Solomon Mahlangu House, where they'll engage directly with him. So that will be a moment to watch. If you remember how students back then engaged with Adam Habib at the Solomon Mahlangu House, which was one of the most, notable points during the Fees Must Fall. But it seems, in terms of approach of talking to students, there hasn't really been much that has really happened. The students have really pointed out that they are not backing down in terms of their demand to have that financial exclusion cap moved to 150,000. But Wits University saying, well, at this particular point, we can only offer 120,000 for those students who owe not more than 120,000 rands to register. So it seems though that conversation has reached deadlock, and this is where we are right now.
Linda Mnisi is on the streets outside Wits University on Empire Road as the students continue with their protest. But a sense of calm, at least for now, in terms of some of what we've seen earlier on in the day. And as you